Hi, hello everyone. I am Suresh Reddy Nusi. Welcome to Data Vidhyalaya. In this video, we will be majorly focusing on the what are the key roles and responsibilities of a data engineer. Most of you will be working, looking for a role or working in a role of data engineer. They wanted to understand what are the key responsibilities that they wanted to execute while they are in their particular job role and all. In this video, we'll be clearly going through what exactly is the responsibilities of a data engineer. Okay. Coming to the responsibilities of data engineer, like first thing the data engineer has to do is that he needs to understand what exactly is the data, like whether we are dealing with the structured data or unstructured data. So we will be making one of the video, like what are the different types of data, and in the structured data, what are the different types of data we have, and in unstructured data, what are the different types of data we have. So these things we will be showing it in the other video, like you will be going through that video also to understand what exactly is the data. First thing, the first key role of that responsibilities of a data engineer is that he needs to handle both structured as well as the unstructured data. So structured data in the sense like he will be able to he or she of the data engineer has to be able to understand what exactly the structured data is there, data is available, whether it is in the source or whether it is in the destination. So these things he need to he or she data engineer has to understand. For example, if they are dealing with the structured data, so like for example, in structured data we have different types of variables, like a categorical variable, continuous variable, discrete variable, data time variable. So these are some of the variables of the structured data, whereas in unstructured data we have the different formats of the data, .png, .jpg, or pdf files, .docs and all. So these are unstructured data. Along with that we have some video type of data in the form of documents and all. So these are the unstructured data and all. So the data engineer has to be a key understanding of the structured as well as the unstructured data. And the second thing is that he or she need to be understands the key data sources, like where exactly the data is present, like what are the data sources, like whether it is in the cloud or whether it is in the SQL databases or Oracle databases, like independent data sources, those things he needs to clearly understand. The same way with the destinations, like there are multiple sources of data sources we have in the we have that storage. Like we need to understand what exactly is available in the data sources and destinations. And he also need to he or she needs to develop the data architecture, like database architecture, like from where the data has to come and how it has to stored in the destination, and what is the database architecture it has to star schema model or snowflake schema or different types of database architecture. He or she need to dig in that. So those things he data engineer has to be majorly focusing on. And the third thing is that pipelines, like he needs to develop the different pipelines here, in the sense like how it has to move from one source to the destination by moving with the different sources, different transformations, like different pre-processing, what are the data processing techniques. Data engineer has to analyze those things also during the preparation of these pipelines and all. So and also he needs to build an efficient pipeline, like efficiency in the sense like there should be no rows or the data points has to be lost. Along with that, within the specific time interval, the data has to be processed and stored in the destination and all. So these are the main things which data engineer has to focus. Along with these data responsibilities, like he for example, if the particular data engineer is in particular project, like where that is dependent on the other projects and all, no. So the data engineer has to provide the data for the data analyst as well as the data scientist, like what type of the variables that they required uh, for the data analysis, as well as the predictive modeling or forecasting modeling. Like data engineer has to help on that, preparing the data for them, like what are the key variables that it has to be there and all. So those things, data engineer also has to focus on that. So along with this, like different data process, like as I mentioned in the say, he has to focus on the data transformation or data processing and all, like data modeling and these things, the data engineer has to focus. So these are the main responsibilities. Like there are nuances of these data engineer responsibilities, like um, pulling the data or data in majorly in the data migration. Like there are some subsequent activities, like what are the demographics of the data. So what exactly the data points needed to be focused, or what exactly the data variables needed to be focused on all. These are the other nuance activities, like the subtasks of the particular role and all. So that but majorly I have focused on the major key points, like key responsibilities that the data engineer has to be focused on all. So majorly the data engineer, if you are working as a data engineer now, like he has to be clearly on have the knowledge on like where exactly the source of the data, and what type of data it is handling, and how where to move the data, like in the sense, like what exactly is there in the destination of and needs to be stored in the data. So what type of data source, or what type of data destination, in the sense, like whether we need to move to the structured database, or whether we need to be a non-structured destination and all. So these things the data engineer has to be keen on that. And while developing the database architecture also, so we need to be reviewed with the SMEs, like what exactly the process needed to be followed while we are moving from the data source to the destination and all. So these are the main etiquettes that data engineer has to be followed and all. So along with that, the if you have this particular skill set, like if you have known a database language like TSQL or PLSQL, representing the different databases and all. So these are very 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 important when we are trying for a role of a data engineer. And ETL packages, like we have different tools like Informatica, SSIS, and Talent and all. These are the ETL development tools and all. We have the Microsoft MSVA stack, where we have this SQL Server integration services and all. So this is just the ETL tool, extract, transform, load and all, where we will be extracting the data from the different source. We will be transforming the data, and then we are loading the data into the different source and all. So that's how we will be designing the ETL packages and all. And there are data warehouses which data engineer has to be focused on developing that. And big data technologies like Hadoop, Hive, Spark, and unstructured databases. These are the unstructured databases which data engineer has to have the knowledge in order to crack a job related to the data engineer and all. So these are main key responsibilities of the data engineer. Apart from that, there will be some other subsequent responsibilities of a data engineer will be there, but majorly we will be focusing on these data engineer key responsibilities and all. So one more suggestion that I can give you is that if you have done any of the certification related to the data engineering, then that would add value to you, like where we it will be easy for you to develop the I mean, like to crack the interview related to the data engineer and all. So we will be preparing another video, like what exactly the tips that data engineer has to be followed, like how we need to project, so that can crack the interview related to the data engineer and all. So the main thing which we wanted to focus here is that what exactly the key responsibilities of a data engineer and data engineer will be doing, that we have projected here. Yeah, if you have any questions related to this data engineer responsibility part, you can comment it here in the below. And if you like that, please click on the like button. And if you want to subscribe to this channel, please subscribe to Data Vidhyalaya, where we will be producing more content related to the data engineering, data analyst, and data visualization, data science and all. Thanks and happy learning. Bye. See you.